Welcome to the next part or the next Strive project. We're in for an exciting one this time. And to show you what we're going to build, I'm actually here in Google Maps. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around here and I'm going to zoom into Europe and we're going to see London and France. London and France. France. London and Paris. These are the two cities I'm wanting to focus on. And there's a cool thing in Google Maps where you can say measure distance. So you can right click on a place, go measure distance, and then I can click on another place. And then like magic, it can tell me what the distance is between these points, right? So the distance from London to Paris then is 350 kilometers. We can zoom in a little bit more and see it a little bit more clearly. Now, how does a computer work out this? How does a computer work out I can add another point and then all of a sudden, okay, now it's showing me that is, I think the total distance now is 547, and I can keep adding points and you can see how the distance to move around probably make a cool shape. But how is it working out what that distance is? That's what we're going to be looking at. And we can actually show that if I go into an iPad here. I have a little screenshot of that map. But if this is the distance from London to Paris, so London is over here and Paris is over here, the way in which it's actually found out is using something called Pythagoras, right? The Pythagorean theorem you might have heard. And what happens is that when we have a right angled triangle that looks like this, we can work out what this distance is if we know what this distance and this distance are. So if we have this side is A and that side is B, then C, we have the following formula. We know that C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. This is the Pythagorean theorem. And with this is how you can find distance between 2 points in a map. And it's also how you can find the distance between pretty much anything, whether it's even in like 3D, 4D, or 5D, following this kind of thing, which I think is pretty cool. And we can do other things with it. So once we understand kind of Pythag, we can create these cool shapes that look like this. So these are called Pythagorean spirals. And you can see how we can manipulate them. You can tell I'm a big fan of spirals. The project we're going to build is going to look something like this, where we're going to have 2 points, and we're going to be able to move these points around. And as I move these points around, you can see that the area of these squares are changing. And what we're saying is that the area of this square plus the area of this square is equal to the area of this square. This square is as if it was on the hypotenuse of this triangle, which is this long side. That's what Pythag is saying we're going to explore it. And you can see how this is the same thing as finding what the distance is between London and Paris. In order to do it, we're going to need to understand the distance formula. And we're also going to need to understand the midpoint formula, or rather how to label something using the midpoint formula. So if we have 2 random points, how can we find what's in the middle, the exact point in the middle of these 2 points? That's what's in store for this project. I'm really excited to get started.